Good morning, everyone. Good morning to all the troops. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. Today, we are coming together to reaffirm our commitment to public safety and community well-being through Safer Calgary Operation Order. We know that many Calgarians are feeling uneasy in our downtown core. Despite ongoing efforts, including an 8-month concentrated operation earlier this year, the perception and the reality of social disorder and crime has not improved. We've heard you, and enough is enough. This year we are sitting at a 6-year high for violence downtown. This is predominantly driven by street robberies and assaults amongst unhoused and against security, social sector staff, and law enforcement. Disorder is also at a 6-year high. This is led by unwanted guests, disturbances, drug and noise complaints. This is not just about statistics. It's also about how people feel when they walk through our streets, ride transit, or visit public spaces. Everyone deserves to feel safe in their city, and this operation will save lives. Operation Order is a focused enforcement initiative targeting high-priority areas downtown. It builds on lessons learned from Operation Certainty and other collaborative efforts through the past 2 years. We're deploying strategic patrols, enhancing enforcement, and, critically, connecting vulnerable individuals with compassionate supports. This is not a one-agency solution. We need social services providers, city departments, and community organizations to address the root cause of disorder. We are leading with supportive accountability. That means enforcing laws and bylaws firmly but compassionately. Arresting is connecting. Arrests will be made when necessary, but always with dignity and care. Vulnerable individuals will be connected to services, not just processed through the system. This includes partnerships with outreach teams, culturally appropriate supports, and health professionals to ensure people get help in the moment, whether it's housing, addiction support, or access to ID and medical care. Our teams, including patrol, community engagement resource officers, community engagement response teams, who include 50 officers that were made possible by a grant from the province last year, and the police and crisis teams are on the grounds every day addressing unsafe behaviours and perceptions of safety with our partners, such as the Navigation Centre, which was also brought to fruition by the province last year. We've seen that a small number of individuals are responsible for a disproportionate amount of disruption. We're focusing our efforts where they'll have the greatest impact while ensuring that compassion remains at the core of our approach. We are only one piece of this complex puzzle. Everyone deserves to feel safe, respected, and supported. As a city, we require options around 24/7 services that can respond to the individual needs in the moment. We need safe day spaces with programming, decentralized and alternative shelter services, legal reform, expanded peace officer authorities, and an open-air drug bylaw. We support Calgarians' right to feel safe in our downtown, and this today is us doing our part. This is about reclaiming our public spaces for their intended purpose and connecting people with appropriate resources. It's about ensuring that downtown Calgary is a place where everyone can live, work, and play. As you can see by the many members standing beside and behind me, our dedication to our community is unwavering. Together, we are strengthening our city for a safer Calgary. Thank you.
We'll now move into some Q&A. If you have them, we'll just take some show of hands and go ahead. The red gloves.
If you don't mind, just do you have some numbers, like how many folks are being deployed?
At the end of the day, I'll have that. We don't have the exact number this morning, but you can take a quick guesstimate. But these aren't all of them, but we'll have more of a definitive number at the end of the day.
And so what is the approach? You're saying that you learned something. What's different this time?
I think it's more of our focused strategy with our partners, and as you can see, more of a additional resources today.
And so what's the ultimate goal?
The ultimate goal is to have a safer city, particularly impact social disorder and the crime that we have continued to see rise in the downtown core. As I said earlier, we hear from many people who work down here, who want to travel down here, who come just to enjoy the restaurants, and they're fearful. Their perception of fear and crime is real, and we have to address that.
And so where will they end? Like, what's going to happen with the folks? Are they just being moved along?
No, so that's what's happened in the past. So what we would typically do is move them from one corner to the next. We're not doing that today. We're actually moving them to services that are there to provide them wraparound services and support, whether that's at other agencies here in the downtown core or if they have to go up to our remand centre. There will also be additional supports there to support them.
And so those partnerships between Calgary Police and other members of the community or outreach groups, is that like when officers are encountering an issue, they're making a call to outreach organizations, or are they working hand in hand, coming across issues, finding the solutions that members of the unhoused community need?
All of that, hand in hand. We work with many of our social partners every day, hand in hand. We can't do this by ourselves, and we rely on them every day. Just like any other day, we will today be hand in hand, side by side.
Chief, you talked about having arrests when necessary. Can you give us an idea of what that means?
So if people are committing criminal behaviors or people are breaking the law, we will arrest them, and we will, as I said, it's not just about arresting and walking away. It is about arresting them and then taking them to the services that they need. We have said we don't want vulnerable people to have criminal records. That's not the goal here. But the goal is if we have to arrest them to take them to social services and support services, if they break the law, we will do that.
Does that include looking at outstanding warrants today? Outstanding warrants?
Yes.
You also mentioned that a lot of the disorder being caused by a handful of individuals. Do you have a rough idea of the percentage of incidents that are being perpetrated by this seemingly persistent group?
We have a high system user group that's roughly around 75 individuals in the city of Calgary at any given time that we're looking at, and so they do a disproportionate amount of crime on any given day within Calgary. There's certainly an area of focus for us, but as the chief said, any individuals that we encounter today, regardless of the type of behavior, if there's criminality, we'll be dealing with that accordingly.
And I guess for those individuals, what do they need most? I guess what's perpetuating this behavior?
Yeah, it's complex issues when you talk about mental health and addictions. These are complex issues facing our society, and so they may need a wide spectrum of supports. And as the chief mentioned, that's why we're working with our partners to, in an integrated fashion, giving them the support they need in that moment, regardless of the day of the week that it is.
Can I ask, it seems like a lot of that, there's housing, there's no housing for some folks, the agencies are quite overwhelmed. How will they be able to be connected to some folks today? It seems like that's the problem.
So we've had lots of conversations with them. I don't want to speak on their behalf, but like ourselves, I would say that many of us are struggling with additional capacity, and they're doing what they can here today with the resources that they have.
What would you say to those people who say, listen, it is a complex problem, and this is kind of a simple hammer solution? Should we be thinking in a more complex way than a one-day blitz? How does a one-day blitz help Calgarians?
Yeah, so today just isn't a one-day blitz. We will continue to do this going forward. After today, we will debrief and we will assess and we'll reassess. This just isn't a one and done. This just isn't us showing up and then walking away and then not coming back for months and months later. This is the beginning of what you will see to ensure that, as I said earlier, that people feel safe coming to this downtown core and that the people who are dying on our streets get the support that they need and the resources that they need at that time.
Are you saying there will be more police officers on the street?
Sorry, what was that?
So are you saying there will be more police officers on the street
Like today?
after today? Is that your plan?
No, so today, as you can see, these additional resources have been redeployed from other areas. We've ensured that we have enough resources to answer the calls for service today and to keep this city safe outside of the downtown core. But as you can see, with additional resources like this is what you get when we're able to bring additional members in from different areas of the service to do what we need to do today. So that's going to be one of the asks in the next budget ask. As I have been saying, we need more police officers to be able to do things like this today on a more regular basis.
Chief, what does success look like today?
Success looks like today is there's lots of things. Having lots of engagement with our members, lots of conversations with the people who are in the downtown core, with the business owners, with the people who work down here, and ensuring that people are moved along and get the resources that they need, and those who are vulnerable, those who have mental health and addiction issues, get that wraparound service.
Recently it came out that about 19% or almost 1 in 5 members of CPS are on some sort of leave or accommodation due to mental or physical illness. How is CPS, looking to make it easier or faster for members to get back on the job so it reduces strain for the active members we see here today?
Yeah, thanks for that. And so a big concern, and it's across the country, and it's unfortunate, but we have many of those members. So when we talk about 19%, it's actually 6% that are truly off. 13% are actually contributing to the service and to the city in other ways that are helping us do our job. And so we've got a robust plan to ensure that those members are assisted and they get the supports that they need to hopefully come back and to be able to get back to full duties.
That if you look in the media, obviously in the United States, you have people like police officers on the street there. There's a fair bit of politicization when it comes to the police right now. Calgarians are really looking at this, many officers on the street here. Is there a message to them about how this might be different than what they're seeing elsewhere in the media?
I'm sorry, I missed the first part.
Just like people see, you turn on television, you see officers like ICE officers in the United States. Policing has become very politicized in the United States there. I imagine there will be Calgarians who compare something like this today with as many officers in downtown core to that. Is there a message to maybe those Calgarians to separate what's happening today from maybe those prevailing media messages they see elsewhere?
Okay, I'm not sure what you're looking for, other than we're continuing to look at all of our crimes and everything, all of the issues that come forward. There's lots of lessons learned nationally and internationally. We'll be looking to see what went well today and what we need to do better. There will always be room for improvement, but at the end of the day, our job is to keep this city safe and to protect people and let them go about their daily lives.
Can I just ask, how many officers have you already said that you are asking for?
No, we haven't said that. We're still looking at that number, and we'll probably have that number early in the new year.
Any other questions before we wrap up?
I think it was in April, the city attorney reporting downtown said that call for public discord were actually decreasing and that things were improving as far as and that was like 12% decrease in calls year over year. Do you disagree with that?
So for the first part of the year, those numbers weren't as high as what they are today. I can tell you in this last quarter that we are above the 10-year high with respect to violence, robberies, and assaults, in particular the downtown core.
And the Calgary Police Service during the summer they released a survey that said 80% of Calgarians feel safe in the city, though they perceive an increase in social disorder and violent crime. Does this aim to address the perception more so than the actual increase?
For sure. We know that perception is very different than the actual crime stats themselves, and the perception to us is just as important. That's why we're here today. We hear the perception of people that they don't feel safe, and that's why you've got what you've got today.